All right. Take a moment to just empty yourself. So each morning, I share these half an hour, what do you call them? It's a sharing of some kind. And it's interesting how every morning I have you can just call it a download or you can call it an intuition of what I'm supposed to share. And it's really clear, it's pretty crisp, it's pretty direct. And this morning, I didn't have one. I didn't have a clear sense of what to share. And I was curious. And then I realized that that's the way it's supposed to be. That I'm not meant to know what I'm going to share today. So today's session is about being okay. Being okay with whatever arises. Being okay with not knowing. Being okay without a plan. Being okay when unprepared. And essentially just trusting. Just trusting. So for the next half an hour or so, we're just going to be okay with things exactly the way they are. I want to share a personal experience which may not be so personal at some level because We all have similar experiences from time to time, isn't it? The story might be a little different, but the experience isn't. The experience of what it's like probably isn't. So, without getting into specifics, I was invited to give a talk, and from the beginning, I wasn't getting a yes to go for the talk. However, this was a friend, and this friend kept encouraging me to come, it's really important that I come. And so I agreed, and I adjusted my schedule. And when there are when the event is a paid event, then I like to charge for my time as well. I think that's only fair. And so I had asked to be charged for this event. I asked for to be paid in advance for this event, and they said yes, that'll be fine. And the day of the event, one day before the event, I'm not getting paid, and I write to them saying that, you haven't paid me in advance. I've changed all my plans to be here. And they said, no, you'll be paid very soon. And take my word for it, you'll be paid very soon. I said, fine, let's go ahead with this. And I was still getting an inner no for the talk. I went ahead and gave the talk. And I feel the talk went really well, and I felt I needed to be there, I needed to give that talk. It was fine. And what I'm getting to is that, so of course I haven't been paid for that talk, and they've been postponing. And what irritated me was the fact that this friend had promised me that it's fine. And that was kind of pricking me, that why, and I was contemplating this morning, why is it pricking me so much? And I thought I was irritated with this friend for leading me on, but then I realized actually I'm irritated with myself. I'm irritated for not following my intuition. And that suddenly felt so peaceful to me. That actually what really bugged me was I had such a clear intuition from the beginning, and I didn't follow my own intuition. And in this moment, I'm just at peace, and it doesn't matter if I get paid for that talk or not. It's a lesson that's well learned. If that's the price I have to pay for following my intuition, it is a very small price indeed. And the point I'm getting to is, can we follow our intuition? We all have our own inner guidance, and we all have our own way of accessing it. It can be an inner nudge, it can be a feeling, it can be some people get dreams, but there is an inner knowing. And to trust that, and not just in some aspects of our life. What would it be like to trust that in every aspect of our life? Our clothing, the food choices we make, exercise, the kind of people we are associating ourselves with. What would authenticity look like, taste like, feel like? And what is it like to be okay with disappointing people? That's a big one. What would it be like to be okay to disappoint people? Just stay with that for a moment. what would it be like to not live up to one's image, this carefully manicured image, pedicured, manicured image? What would it be like to not live up to that image? If that's the price you have to pay to follow your intuition, your inner guidance, what would that be like? So, this okayness, this willing to be okay with the way things are, is perhaps the most important thing of all. Most important thing of all. For so many years, I struggled with this idea of being inconsistent, inconsistent, inconsistent. And the only thing that got me peace was the realization that I'm consistently inconsistent. And I became okay with it. And I began to recognize all the ways in which I am consistent. First of all, the sense of I am is consistent. I exist is consistent, and that's effortlessly so. Breathing is consistent. Getting dissatisfied with sensory experiences is consistent. Thinking is consistent. Feeling is consistent. The rhythm of waking and sleeping is consistent. Hunger and satiation is consistent. So there's plenty that's also consistent. So something relaxed, something shifted. Then I judged myself for a long time for being eclectic, not going deep into one thing, learning a lot about a lot of things. Until I realized that I'm pretty masterful at being eclectic. I'm a pretty good generalist. So being okay. And being okay means dropping the image of what I'm supposed to be like, what life is supposed to be like. And once and for all, embracing that betrayal, that disappointment. By oneself, by others, by life, by God, by fate, whatever you want to call it. And what came is that being okay with my present level of wisdom. Is wisdom. Being okay with my current level of integration between my walk and my talk. This is the pathway of integration. This is itself integration. Being okay with my contentment and discontentment. Genuinely being okay with it. Reveals an even deeper contentment, an even deeper ease. At some point, I became okay with the fact that I can't remember everyone's name. And I don't want to remember everyone's name. It's okay. It's their job to remember their name, not mine. And this may seem like a very complacent attitude and a very, just taking it as it comes. And it may not appeal, and sometimes it does not appeal. And that's also okay. When it's a time to resist, take a stand, and that is what's most alive in us, well, then even that's okay. And the ways in which it'll burn and mold us is also okay. So, what is it like being completely okay with your present sense of self, your present story, your present emotional state, mental state, physical state, relational state? With the sum of your life, what is it like to be okay? And what is it like to be okay even with your inability to be that okay? Mental suffering is, and of course emotional suffering, is the world of should be, I should be, the world should be, my family should be, my organization should be, the president should be, the prime minister should be, isn't it? You don't have to agree or disagree, just check. Of course, with should be also comes shouldn't be. Shouldn't be is just another kind of should be. Beautiful teaching from my teacher. If it shouldn't have happened, it wouldn't have happened. It should have happened, it would have happened. If it shouldn't have, it wouldn't have. Should have, would have. So being okay with it. What this okayness does is, it reveals that there is something unknown. There is something completely unknown. That is taking this life to some place completely unknown. Trying to achieve something completely unknown. The unknown is leading all of this to the unknown. And one can resist it, fight it, or one can be okay with it. And you know what? It's okay to fight it and resist it. And of course, it's okay to be okay with it. And just as my initial resistance and disappointment with this friend led to a sense of letting go and actually gratitude. What a small price to pay. What a tiny, minuscule price to pay to come back into alignment. The alignment of following inner guidance no matter what. No matter what. I thought I did follow inner guidance, but this is showing me one more layer. And as I look into this layer, I see, wow, there are so many other places in my life where I am neglecting inner guidance. So many other places. Oh my God, this is a treasure. I thought I was going there to teach other people. Not at all. I was going there to learn an important lesson. This is fantastic. So, this morning session, I've been sharing some stories and anecdotes and some general pointers around okayness, non resistance, non resistance even to the resistance, okayness even with you, not okayness, trusting the inner guidance. And sometimes it takes a lot of not trusting the guidance to truly trust the guidance. And what's coming to me is that this okayness is doing two things simultaneously. I seem to mind less and less, less and less. And paradoxically, I seem to care more and more. Mind less and less, care more and more. To mind less and less is to resist less and less, to judge less and less, to should less and less. And to care more and more is to connect more and more, pay attention more and more, love more and more, let be more and more, and find humor more and more. So, what would it be like to not mind, no matter what happens, to not mind, at the same time, deeply care, deeply care? I'm going to end today with a story of this old man who had very, very few possessions, just pretty much the clothes he wore on his back, and a stick that had been given to him by his teacher, a walking stick. And this was a lineage. This walking stick belonged to the teacher's teacher, teacher's teacher. It went back like this for 400 years. And on top of the stick was an enormous diamond. Enormous diamond. So he lived in a village and he was a wise man, and people would come to him for advice, and he would always help. He was always caring, he was always available, he was always supportive. He was very selfless. And everybody, admired him and loved him. And some people even, they looked at that big diamond and said, wow, how does he just live with that diamond? Isn't he afraid it's going to get stolen? But of course, nobody dared steal it from him because he was such a wise and caring man. So he became so popular that the news reached the king. And the king said, how can there be someone in this kingdom that's more popular than me? And this made him insecure. How can someone be more loved than me? And he decided to do something about this. So he called his personal guard and he told him that for the next 2 weeks, I am leaving the kingdom, or rather, I'm leaving the palace. And I'm going to go to this village and I'm going to pretend to be an ordinary farmer, and I'm going to become a disciple of this teacher. And 2 weeks later, I want you to show up And I'm going to invite this teacher, this old man, to give a talk to the villagers. And as he steps up to give a talk, I want you to run up to him, hit his leg, and grab his stick. Break the stick, take out the diamond, and run away. And then we'll see how this man reacts. And that will show everybody how wise he really is. And make sure you tell nobody else about this. This is just between you and me. So the personal guard says, all right, I'll do it. And the king says, you'll be handsomely rewarded. So the king goes ahead and disguises himself as an ordinary farmer and goes to this village, and he starts pretending to be very taken by this old man and becomes his disciple, starts staying with him. And he's treated very kindly. Everyone treats him kindly. The old man treats him kindly. And he's given, food and shelter and everything he needs. And, his heart starts to soften a bit. That, these people really are so nice. But he's still, his inner insecurity is very strong. And he decides to go ahead with the plan. So 2 weeks later, there's a gathering. And he invites the old man, Master, please share your words of wisdom. The villagers have gathered today. Please do share your words of wisdom. And the master smiles and he starts going towards where he will give the talk. And just then, out of the crowd, a man appears and hits him hard on the leg. The old man falls. He grabs his stick, breaks the stick in front of everybody, takes out the diamond and runs away. And the old man somehow gathers himself up. He doesn't even look in the direction of the thief. He gathers himself up, goes and sits down. And the whole village is perturbed. Who was that man? And how did he steal this diamond of yours? And how could he do that? And the old man says, it's all right. It's all right. I've come from nothing, you see. I've come from nothing. I had nothing. It's just for my teacher gave me that stick. So I kept it out of respect for my teacher. I am nothing. And I will return to nothing. So what is there to get so upset about? Nothing. That diamond has gone back to nothing. And that's the way it was going to be anyway. And the whole village is in disbelief of how calm this teacher is in the face of such a big setback. And the king, he can't control himself anymore. He's so ashamed, and he stands up and he reveals his identity. And he bows down to the old master and says, please forgive me. I'm the king. I was pretending to be an old man. I was testing you. I pretended to be a farmer and I was testing you. And the old man says, King, just as you shed the identity, the false identity of being a farmer, now also shed this false identity of being a king. And just be nothing. So that's the beautiful story for today. So this story, this session began with nothing. I had no clue what I was going to talk about today. And it's taken us on this journey of okayness and trusting even our inability to trust, trusting our unpreparedness, forever being unprepared for this next moment of life. And that's also okay. Because it's all nothing. And these diamonds, all those diamonds we are holding. The old man just had one stick. How many sticks do we have? How many diamonds do we have? How many things are we holding on so tight to? And can we, just as the king shed his false identity of being a farmer, and the wise man said, now also shed this false identity of being a king, can we be okay to shed our false identities.